Hey, this is Mr. Brown from Whippoorwill Holler, and today I'm going to raid our pantry. We're doing a pantry collaboration with Miss Vicky, Miss Katie, Miss Lori, of course, me from Whippoorwill Holler, and I've done forgot Mary. Yes, Mary's from Mary's Nest. And is anybody I forgot? Maybe not. And anybody can join in that needs to or wants to. You don't have to need to, but if you want to, you can join in. So let's get started. Okay, so we have several pantries here in our house and outside. One is a refrigerator. Then we have the pantry that we use to store and all of our canned items from the garden and such. We have our garden, which we've had greens all winter. We have our garden, and we have our greenhouse and our freezers. So let's see what we got. So we're going to see what's in the refrigerator today. So this is some small bass, actually what I prefer to cook. Caught these fish yesterday, and I'm very picky about my fish, so I clean and I wash and I wash and I wash fish. If you really work fish, you will get some of that fish oil out of the fish, and then I salt it down and I let it set, and then I rinse it off well, and then we put it in the refrigerator last night. So for our meal today, included with our meal, this is sweet potatoes and potatoes that come out of the garden. That was canned, come out of the pantry. And of course these luscious green beans that we love so much. They're so good. So here we go. So I've done seasoned my fish on one side with pepper, black pepper. I'm a big pepper fan. I'm not a big heavy salt eater in food, but I do like plenty of salt on our fish. I'm gonna salt it first. I've done did the other side, ended up with a little bit of olive oil over the top. What I used in my little seasoning, and you need to fix it how you like to season your fish. I used a little bit of garlic and herb without salt. I used a little bit of McCormick Cajun seasoning and quite a bit of garlic, but this also had garlic in it. We love garlic. And I just mixed it to my taste. It don't have to be perfect. And I salt and peppered, regular black pepper, and I put just a little bit of black pepper in this. And we're gonna sprinkle this over the fish. I done did the other side. So we're gonna get this seasoned up, and we're gonna be cooking this fish on a griddle. And it's not seasoned as good as I would like, but we're gonna have to season it somehow. So we're hoping it don't stick too much. So I got my seasoning on there, and I like to rub my seasoning into the crevices a little bit of that fish to kind of get it sticking down to it. I like to rub it in and make it stick. Boy, it smells good. And then I'm gonna put some olive oil. This is just hopefully we're gonna keep it from sticking to the grill, and we're gonna put probably just a touch as I flip it outside. I moved the grill to the outdoor kitchen because we was going to do it on the front porch, but the wind is so blowing so hard today. So I'm going to put this olive oil on there, and then I'm going to rub it over the entire fish like so. Man, doesn't that look good?
Smells good.
One little point that a lot of people don't realize, this piece of meat right here, this come off the rib of this bigger fish. There's, I'm not too much on wasting fish, but you know, I normally fillet and you get all the meat, but on a bigger fish, on the outside of the rib, there's usually a chunk of meat there. And I usually cut it off if it's a big enough fish to do so. If times were really bad and we really needed to eat and be very careful, then I would be cooking that whole rib. I would cook the whole thing. But times aren't not that hard, and there's not much. If you really fillet and know how to fillet fish, there's not very much waste of fish. So I've got my heat on about medium, and cooking with this griddle is new for me and Miss Lori. We're putting a little bit of bacon grease on there.
We did cook a steak and a couple of some hamburgers on. That's why it looks rough, but
yeah,
we're trying to season it up. So
we're just getting started. And that's plenty hot, I can tell. I'm gonna turn it down just a little more. Sorry, it's smoking. We're back here trying to control the temperature and the heat and the wind. I'm going to put a little bit of pepper on here. These just have to be warmed up and browned a little. They're pre-cooked when you can them, huh?
Yeah.
Put a little bit of salt.
I had a lot of people that never had ate fried sweet potatoes, and they tried them after me doing that one video, and they said they were the best things.
We're going to put a fish on here and get it started. And 5 little fish gonna make us plenty of feed.
Yeah, gonna be good. I've got the easy part of this dinner. I'm fixing to warm these green beans up that come out of the garden from last year. And here we are already going to be planting beans again next month. But I'm out here on the outdoor kitchen with Mr. Brown, and I got my little skillet here, and I got some bacon grease in it. And I got 2 pint jars. I can eat a pint by myself. And what I usually do is drain about half the either broth or water out of it. Then I empty all the water out of the next one. I'm not going to put any salt because when I can my green beans I put a little salt in it, but I am going to put some pepper, plus the bacon grease has got salt in it. And then I'm going to put about a teaspoon of minced garlic. And that's all I'm going to be putting in these green beans. Now I'm going to put them on high, and I'm going to bring them up, and I'm going to really cook them quick for a minute. Then I'm going to turn down and let them simmer. And what I like to do with my green beans is I like to just cook them to death. They're so good. Thing's going.
Cooking up.
I can tell you one thing, it smells good.
Stirring them potatoes, I'm kind of smashing up your sweet potatoes.
I see that.
It's going to be good though.
Yeah. Hey, we're coming back in. We're going through the pantry, and this is going to be another pantry raid of making some vinaigrette for our salad that we're going to be going and getting out of our garden pantry. Now, y'all that have been with me a while know that I make my own vinegars, and I do infused vinegar. This is pineapple vinegar, and I made this out of just the core of a pineapple. Just water, pineapple. It's been sitting for several months, and it's really good stuff, and it's wonderful for making vinaigrette with. Now, some people say, well, Miss Lori, how come you ain't took that core out of there yet? Well, it's pickled, so there's nothing wrong with it. And it just keeps, you know, infusing that vinegar, because it is vinegar now. It's not just water and pineapple core. It has turned into pineapple vinegar. And it's just one of the kinds of vinegars. I need to redo my vinegar videos is what I need to do. But anyways, so we're going to make us a vinaigrette real quick. Really simple. I'm going to put about a half a cup of olive oil in here. I'm going to put about a fourth of a cup of my vinegar. Get me some thyme out of here. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of thyme. I'm just going to do a couple pinches of salt. The pepper's just about empty. Just a little bit of pepper. And I'm going to put, of course, a teaspoon of minced garlic. Let me get my honey. Okay, now I'm going to put me just a little bit of honey in here. Put as much as you want. This is from Thrive Market. This is, oh, Mr. Brown loves this honey. It's organic, super raw honey, unfiltered. Really good stuff. So now what I'm going to do is mix this up, and this is our vinaigrette. It was that simple. Ingredients out of the pantry. And you're not going to eat anything any better than homemade vinaigrettes or dressings. And I have a video on making some different salad dressings, and I'll find that link and put it down below. So now we're going to go raid our garden pantry.
So our fish is about ready to flip, and I'm going to take just a little bit of this olive oil, put on top of it. This fish is on this grill is not going to brown right now like you might think it would. And I don't care if I get a little bit in between, but we don't want it to get dry. So it ain't going to be long, it's going to be cooked.
Ooh, that looks good. That's brown.
It's falling apart already, so I got to get it flipped. There won't be much on the other side.
Right.
It'll be done. Sure.
Okay, we're out here in the pantry garden, and I'm going to get me some of this really pretty lettuce to eat with our vinaigrette. Now we're out in the greenhouse, and we're going to get us some microgreens. Very, very good for you. And these are, like I said, I think I told another video, these are brassicas. I think they are broccoli. Lord, I can't remember all that's in it. But anyways, I love these little microgreens in my salads. They taste good, and I know they're healthy for you.
So our fish is done. One way you can tell this fish is starting to fall apart, starting to get flaky. It's ready to take off. You don't want to overcook it, it's going to get tough on you. And there she is, she's pretty. Fine, this is all ready to eat. We're going to take it off. It's brown, nice.
Yeah, it tastes really good. Cooked just right.
I think it's cooked just right.
Seasonings are good too. But this right here shows you what kind of meal you can put on the table out of your pantry.
And it didn't take very long.
No, it didn't really, did it? The potatoes, you know, were already pretty much cooked, so.
And
But
we could live out of that canned and dry pantry for months and months. I mean, you've got canned meat. If we wasn't able to get fish, you've got meat in there canned.
well,
Of course, we've got it in the freezer. But if something would happen to power and stuff, we would probably have 2 stoves going, and we would be canning a bunch of meat.
Yeah.
If something was to happen. But we could live out of that pantry for months. This is all fresh, you know, except for what we put back last summer, or last, in summer and fall.
You can't get anything even this close to this good at a restaurant. So.
Them sweet potatoes and them potatoes is good.
I know it. Anyways, guys, you see what you can do out of your pantry. Especially if you've got a sustainable pantry. And that consists of different things. Like Mr. Brown told you earlier. Your freezer, your refrigerator, your pantry, your main pantry. You got your garden. And if it's stocked, and the way things are now, we've got to do our best. And you can go in there anytime and pull stuff out and make you a great meal. I mean, you can't beat this with a stick.
No, and we know everybody can't go out and get fish, but that's one reason that our pond project was to get it to holding and get it going and have fish right here by the house. So we wouldn't, if something happened, I couldn't go to the lake or I couldn't go to the river, then I would have some fish right here at the house.
And if you can go like one good fishing trip and come back with, you know, probably fish, you can fish.
You can can fish.
You can freeze it, but if you're off grid, you can can it. You can buy mackerel, salmon in a can and keep it in your refrigerator to make fish patties. I mean, there's just all kinds of different meals in that pantry.
If you remember when the pandemic started, how the shelves went bare and things were hard to get, from food to gardening, seeds to even gas got to be, in some places, got to be a little more scarce. And then when the winter storms hit, things really got scarce in certain places. So it's always good to be prepared if you can. And if I sound a little deeper voice than normal, I've got her crud. I don't know that it was hers, but the allergy stuff, I had them along with her, but it finally hit me really hard.
Well, it's really going around right now in our area because things are blooming and people are just crying and coughing and hacking.
Yes. So I'm surprised I haven't coughed a lot. But.
Anyways, guys, I hope y'all like this video. I hope it helped give y'all some ideas of how you can go into your pantry and make a meal, and how you can have sustainable food in your pantries, whatever that may be. And hopefully, we're hoping one of these years that we might get a root cellar. We don't have one yet. My pantry and my kitchen, I've got butternut squash and sweet potatoes and still in there from last year, so it's doing a good job. But anyways, I want to thank Miss Vicki and Miss Katie and Miss Mary for doing this with me. And we are inviting everybody.
Anybody that would like to.
Any channel that would like to get in on this and show us something that you do, how you cook out of your pantry, and help everybody else out there. So y'all get involved, join us for this collaboration, and just put it down as hashtag pantryraid collaboration. I have to make sure I say that right. Pantry Raid collaboration.
Pantry Raid.
Yeah. So anyways, we'll see y'all.
You can before we go, one more thing. You can always put some canned goods in your pantry. If you don't, have access to your garden supplies or something at a certain time, it always would be good to have you a few weeks, at least a few weeks, if not a month or more, of canned goods. If you can't get, and if you're not able to can from the garden or something like that, basically it's good to be prepared.
It is. Even like you said, you don't have to have a big garden and even have access to a garden. Some people, even like in town and stuff like that, they can't have a garden, and some people are not able to garden. But you may have a farmer's market. You may have a neighbor that will give you some vegetables. But even at that, just go buy, a bunch of canned goods and just keep them back always. And any time that you go to the grocery store, if it's nothing but 2 cans of something, buy that extra something and stick it back, because it's always going to work. And you'll be surprised how you can walk in there anytime and make you a meal out of it. So we're going to say goodbye, everybody, and we'll see y'all in a couple of days. And I really wish y'all could taste this fish, because it's really good. Anyways, God bless everybody. We love y'all.